Hi. Hey guys, what's up? I'm back. Been 3 months. I'm not going to explain myself. I do this so many times. Today we're going to be talking about the books I read this winter. And honestly, part of the reason I didn't upload this much this winter season was because I was reading. And I didn't read a lot because I'm not a fast reader. I literally have no idea how people read so quickly. We're gonna be talking about the books I read. Some of these obviously are from before the end of the year. So some of these you'll probably saw in either my favorite books of the year or my least favorite books of the year. I will link those both up above for you guys to check out. Some good videos, some good content for you guys. And I have 11 books to talk about. That's actually really makes me happy. But we're gonna talk about them quick. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, the first book that I read also made it onto one of my favorite books of 2018 list because I adored this book. I was expecting to hate it, I'm not gonna lie. The only reason I was reading it is because it was on top 5 books I need to read by the end of this year, which actually, I read them all. There's only 5, but I did end up reading all of them, which was something I was very shocked about because I never follow my goals. So, the first book I read in the season of winter was The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I love this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I love the story of Natasha and Daniel. I thought it was beautiful. It was sweet. Yes, this is incel love. Yes, it is ridiculous at some points. And yes, it takes place in one day. But there's something about it. There's this whole universe element to it and fate and destiny and soulmates, and I adored it. Okay, I adored it. I found very little flaws in this, honestly, and I'm so excited for the movie. So excited. Next, I read After for a secret video that's, will it ever get posted? I don't know, but I read it. It was awful. I give it 1 star. In the beginning, honestly, I was kind of sucked into it. It was kind of guilty pleasure. The first, there's 100 chapters in this book. Okay, I read it on Wattpad also, so I've read the Harry Styles version, so now I don't, some people talk about characters, and I had no idea because I only know them by, Harry, Zayn, Louis, Niall, I don't know their actual names in the real books, so that's, embarrassing. But I read this, it was bad, the writing's just really bad, the plot, obviously, they have a toxic relationship, we can go back and forth on whether they're romanticizing the toxic relationship, except they are romanticizing the toxic relationship, whatever, we can go on and on about it. I didn't like it. I wouldn't say it was a waste of my time, even though it did end up taking me a really long time to read, even though I thought I was gonna breeze through it. I thought I was originally gonna read all 3 of them, but then they were actually long, and I was like, skirt, no. It's bad all around. Am I going to see the movie? Yes, because my friends and I read it together. She read all 3 of them actually, because she's crazy, but we're gonna be seeing it, whatever. Look, I know I'm giving money to them, but whatever. I want to see it, okay? I want to see it. Next, I read Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is probably a book not many of you know about. This follows the story of Mary, who was put into a prison after, a baby jail, after she is accused of killing a young child that she is in the care of with her mom. That happens, and then this is a story afterwards as she is in a foster home and going through that and just coming to terms with what really did happen. This book, I didn't like it. I gave it 3.5 stars. I appreciated the story it was trying to tell. I didn't like the ending. I didn't like how unexpectedly dark this was. I was expecting this to be more of a fiction, just fiction in general, but it kind of turned into this weird, not thriller, I don't know, it was weird, it was a weird sort of thing, and then the ending really threw me for a loop, which I guess kind of was good, but also just very weird towards the end. It wasn't my favorite. It was interesting. I definitely think some people would really like it if you're into gritty, dark contemporaries, but with this weird scary twist. That's really vague, but I mean, this was good. I really enjoyed it for its elements of just a regular contemporary, darker contemporary, but the things it did at the end were weird in my opinion. Next, Tash Hearts Tolstoy by Catherine Ormsby. I gave this 4 stars. So this follows an asexual main character who runs this YouTube mini series based on it's Tolstoy Anna Karenina, is that right? Anna Karenina, yeah. Is that even how you say Anna Karenina? I've never seen anything, whatever. Anyway, it's about her and she makes a web series and it gets like really popular because this person like shouts it out, and it's like kind of her going through like everyday stuff, but then also her web series got like really popular and she's going to this like big web series award show, and it was basically a contemporary with like a YouTube twist, which I enjoyed. I appreciated hearing from the perspective of an asexual main character. That's something that's not in a lot of contemporary books or books at all. Contemporary books, any books, okay? But honestly, something was just like off. Like, let me read my review because I feel like I don't remember this that great. Hey guys, I don't know if this is annoying as hell to you as it is annoying to me. I can't hear myself. But I keep saying that I gave allegedly 3.5 stars and I said I didn't like it, but then at the end I say I like it, and 3.5 stars isn't a bad rating, and then in this I said like, oh, I gave it 4 stars, and then I start talking about how much I didn't like it, and it's so irritating, and I just want to say I'm really sorry. Hella boring in the beginning, and I was so not on board for how naive and annoying some of the characters were being. But that ending, I was just so happy it turned the book around for me, staying up till 4 a.m. to finish this book, worth it. Yeah, so the beginning of this book was like so like uninteresting. Like it just followed her and like this web series, and it was just kind of like, what are you doing? And like it was just boring in the beginning, so it was really hard to get into. But then once I got into it and I started getting really into the characters, it was a lot more fun. I mean, this has some like deep stuff in it, and I think it was like really well done with the way it did its asexual. Obviously I can't speak on the actual representation, but how other characters reacted to it was both realistic and also very upsetting at times. It was definitely a journey. I really liked it. But the beginning was kind of like hard, and like the flow of it was sometimes very weird too. But I loved the ending. The ending just like good shit for me, okay? Good stuff. It was good. It was good. It was okay. It was good. Good. 4. 4. 4 is a good rating. I need to fix my rating scale. We've talked about this a million times. Next book I listened to on audiobook was Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. Everything I Never Told You was one of my favorite books, if not my favorite book of 2017. I don't know if that's correct. 2017, I think. And I enjoyed this just as much as I did her first book. 5 stars. Absolutely love the commentary. I absolutely love the plot and the storyline and all the different characters. I felt really attached to all of them. It was astounding. I love, like, she really just creates such a rich characters, and I feel like she really tells such interesting stories about each and every one of them that make you interested in all of them. So I really, really appreciated that. I just really love this book. I thought it told an amazing story. Next book I read, I gave this 4.5 stars, okay? But, and I'll say this again and again, I don't know, like, this book was good, but in the weirdest way, and so it's You by Carolyn Kepnes. I liked it. I thought Joe's character was whack, like whack as shit, okay? I didn't like him, but he was also really funny. Is that bad? Like, in his head was like really interesting, but also awful and just crazy. I gave this 4.5 stars. I would probably say it's more like a 3.75 for being more realistic. I'm so bad at like rating books, especially right after I read them, because if I read any book, I feel kind of accomplished after I finish it, and unless I really hated it, I'm more likely to give it a high grading. I didn't hate this. I'm sure, like, I read hyped books. Like, everyone knows what this is about. Like, it was a good thriller. There wasn't really any twists. Like, it wasn't, like, a twisty sort of thriller. It was good. It was okay. But it was also, like, what the hell am I reading? Okay? Watched the TV show. I didn't really like the TV show. It was okay, but, you know, I'll probably watch season 2, but Penn Badgley really freaks me out, and also, like, it was just uncomfortable. Like, the whole thing was uncomfortable. Like, I can read uncomfortable stuff, but watching uncomfortable things, like, it's hard for me. This hurts me, okay? So, I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, right? I gave it 3 stars. I'm pissed, okay? I was so excited for this because everyone was hyping it up, okay? Fairies, okay? Fairies and, like, dark main characters and you know, I thought this was gonna be 5+++ stars, favorite book of the year. I thought it was so fucking boring for the first 60% of this book. The first 60% were literally so boring. Like, I did not care about her going to school and like getting bullied. Like, that sounds really rude, but I didn't, like, you're in this like magical world, right? But you didn't see any of it. You were just sitting with her in class. She would just randomly like kill someone. And I'm just like, what is going on and why? Okay, look, I like the characters, okay? So that's the only reason I'm going to be reading the next book. I like the characters. I like Jude. I like Carden. Taryn is its time, but I really don't hate her that much either. I liked the character dynamics. That's the only reason I'm going to be reading the next book. And also I heard it gets like more steamy. And then by steamy I mean like, I don't know. People told me this book was like, oh, you're like gonna have like feels. I'm like, literally nothing happened. Like, I got like maybe like an inch of like any sort of anything. If I hadn't have known anything about this book and just picked it up, like, I probably would have liked it more. But I had such high expectations and they were not met at all. Okay, like, let me look at my review. Oh my god, I wrote such a long review. I never write these longer reviews. Okay, I think all the time you've been hyping this book up, but I think you guys really been hyping up the second book. This wasn't that good. Am I missing something? I'm very upset because I was expecting something a hell of a lot better than this. I haven't read other reviews yet, but I just don't get what everyone loved. The characters were good, but the plot was just question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Like, I'm sorry, it just wasn't all that great. There was no angst. Okay, I came here for the angst of romance and feels and y'all robbed me. I get one kiss in this entire book and it's in the last 50 pages. Yo, I was pissed after reading this, okay? What else do I say? Y'all killed me. Obviously, I'm reading the second book. I'm very irritated right now. I feel robbed. I mean, okay, so there was some angst at the end, but that doesn't make up for the first 300 pages where we had to listen to this girl get very bullied every day and whine about it. All the plot twists were kind of obvious, except the last one, sorta, but, like, also I knew the title of the next book, so it's kind of obvious. True, like, this is called The Cruel Brings, the next one's called The Wicked King. I'm like, wonder what happens at the end. I just find myself not caring about most of these people, which freaking sucks. And I liked their characters, but I didn't care about what they were doing because it was so whack. Like, I felt like everything was like so fast. Like, there's a relationship in here that I just like didn't understand, like, how she didn't see that like this was weird, or like they kind of like moved really fast. I was just like, what's going on? Like, what is going on? And I was just so confused, like, the whole time, just like, what? Like, the only parts I liked were the parts with Carden in it. Like, I only liked those parts, and that wasn't that often, okay? The inclusion of the normal human world was kind of cool, though. I will admit that the world was really cool, but that's what I'm saying, like, I didn't get to see, like, any of it. I felt like I saw nothing, like, nothing. And I like the openings for more plot in the second book, but maybe more freaking angst and romance, please? Okay, look, I'm weak. Okay, after reading some reviews, it appears people enjoyed the political stuff. Okay, so I probably would have enjoyed it more if y'all weren't filling my timeline with beautiful pictures of Jude and Carden. Okay, I'm blaming y'all for this one. Edit. I'm becoming irrationally irritated with myself. Did I not give this book a proper chance? Like, why did none of the plot twists get me going? Like, this had to be me. It's not the book situation, because she had a lot going for it. I'm genuinely upset, guys. I'm hurt. I was expecting to be obsessing about this book for like weeks and weeks after, and it just didn't happen. I already know what happens at the end of the next book too, because y'all can't fucking stop talking about it on Twitter, which is fine, but I don't know like any of the context behind it, like, at all. And I also like don't know a lot of like what happens in the book, other than like hopefully more angst. So many of you guys were talking about like angst, but I realized that so many of you had arcs of the second book, like when the first book was coming out. And I think it just got like really distorted, and like, I don't know. I think just a lot of people were talking about the second book, and I thought you were talking about the first book, and it just wasn't that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see, honestly. It's fine. I also read the novella, The Lost Sisters. I give it 4 stars because I like it, because it was like character focused, it was like short and snappy, and I got like what I wanted out of it. It also confirmed that Taryn's like pretty bad, like she's bad bitch. Like, grr. Yeah, and then also I saw like people were talking about the excerpt for the third book, which is like The Queen of Nothing, I think, which just like spoils like the end, like the endings, the titles of the next book spoil the endings of the books, and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? But yeah, I saw like people were talking about the excerpt, and like I kind of got spoiled for something that was in that too, and I'm just like, oh my god, guys, y'all really killing me with this one. Okay, we're gonna move on to 2 books that I read by the same author that were freaking spectacular. And I'm going to hype these books up for the rest of my life now because you guys don't hype them up enough. Letters to the Lost and More Than We Can Tell by Brigid Kemmerer are some of the best contemporary writings I've ever read in my whole entire life, and I'm not joking, guys. These books are so addictive. They're so well written, and they have such rich characters with such interesting plots. It's crazy, okay? It's absolutely insane how much I loved these 2 books. They each obviously got 5 stars. I adored them. Her newest book, A Curse So Dark and Lonely, actually debuted on the New York Times bestseller, so that's like amazing. And I know a lot of people have been hyping up that book, but I have not read it. I don't own it, but that will be obviously on my list of like when I decide I'm gonna start buying books again. I just adored these. If you don't know what these are about, I'm going to briefly tell you. So this is the first book. This is also a companion novel, so if you should read this first, okay? Because the couple stuff that happens in this one gets spoiled in this one. So this is Letters to the Lost. It follows 2 main characters that start writing to each other in a graveyard. So the main character in the story, Juliet, you know, perfect writing love letter. Well, it's not a love letter. Okay. She leaves a letter to her mom on her mom's grave, and Declan is the other main character in this, and he is actually working at the graveyard, and he sees her note and he writes back to her, and it just starts with like that sort of dynamic. It's so good. There's so many good parts in this, and the characters felt so incredibly real, and I loved it. I like absolutely adored it. This book follows one of the side characters from this book, Rev, and he is just I just love him. I don't know which one I liked more. I think honestly, like, I liked this book more. I just adore it. I just love Rev, and the main girl in this is Emma, and they kind of meet at a church one night as like a bunch of different stuff is happening in their lives, and it's just like, it's a contemporary story. Like, it's just, these are regular people, and it just tells a story of them, but it has like such interesting plot points, and the characters are so interesting and well thought out, and I love them. I also really love this book because these stories actually take place in my hometown, like not just like around me, like literally where I live, which also like is kind of creepy. Like, I've been to all of the places that they mention in these books, which is so cool to me. I've sat in these restaurants, or I've been to like a park and ride, like there's a park and ride scene here, and like roads, and I can see it in my mind, like how the story takes place, because I know these places. So that's also just really added to it. And it's the same with this book, but this book more so. I don't know why there was more aspects of like the actual town in this one, but I just loved it. I just absolutely loved these 2 books. They are amazing. I cannot recommend these enough. I know I'm not the first on the train. Dylan unfortunately got to them first, so now he kind of like owns Brigid Kemmerer, but here I am ready to stand. So yes, these will be in all the recommendation videos for the rest of my life. You guys need to read these. Last book I read was the first book in the Lux Beginnings, which is the wrap up of the first 2 books in the Lux series. So I read Obsidian, which I don't know if you guys remember these books. I think it came out in maybe like 2012, but I think Emma Books is really who turned me on to them, maybe in like 2015. And so I read the first one because I've had this for a little bit now, and I really liked it. You know, I gave this 4 stars. I really liked the characters, and the plot was like good, and it was also like kind of a better version of Twilight, because I'm also rereading Twilight right now, and that is a time, let me tell you. So it follows this girl who writes a book blog. I always say this girl because I can never remember their names, even if I just finished the book. Katie, duh. Her name's Katie. Okay, it follows the story of Katie. She is like a book blogger, and she just moved to West Virginia because a couple years ago her dad died and her mom wanted a fresh start. So they moved to West Virginia, and her next door neighbor is an alien, and he's hot. His name's Damon Black. And they have a crazy story because he's an alien. He can do crazy stuff, and all this bad stuff's going on, so they gotta fix it. It's Twilight, but with aliens. And you know what? I enjoyed it. What I really liked about this book is there was a lot of angst, but like at the ending was kind of like ambiguous. So there's still so much drama left to uncover, and I'm still like hooked into the characters and the story, but it's bad, okay? Like, it's definitely not quality. So that's gonna be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please check out my social media handles down below. I'm way more active. Okay, I'm kind of active. I'm like always around. Like if you like at me on Twitter, like I will always be there. Like I'll be there. Follow me on Twitter, it's at bookishsami. Follow me on Instagram or on Bookstagram at bookishsami. Follow me on my personal Instagram, which is Samantha.Myers, Myers. Love you guys. Thank you for sticking around. Okay. Bye. Toodles. See ya. Yeah.